Hello, hello. Are we live? I'm getting the thumbs up that we're live. So, hello everyone. I am Takaze. I will be playing for you Child of Light. How about we get the bid war between the dress color closed off as soon as we're ready, and then I'll go ahead and start, and I'll select the dress once I am able to in-game.
Yep, we're getting the final update on that now. And it looks like... Just a moment. Almost there. Almost there. The internet is really slow right now. Okay. It is light.
Light, okay. So, I'll go ahead and get started, and we can introduce everyone. And whenever we're all ready, I'm getting the thumbs up. So, we'll start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So, this is Child of Light, an RPG made in 2014 by Ubisoft Montreal. They made such games like Assassin's Creed and Just Cause, so you can definitely see a lot of the similarities between those two and this game. Yeah, not really. So, before I get too into it, how about we get a little introduction on the couch, though some of you probably don't need an introduction.
I'm Essentia.
I'm Poexel.
I'm Silverfire. I'm also Takaze's brother.
He is also my brother. So, just to give an overview, I will be playing 100%. What I call 100%. Really, it's just all quests and all confessions. Confessions are just an item that you can pick up. There'll be 16 of them throughout the game. They're basically like little letters that you can read through that just kind of explain a little bit about the world. And all the side quests, which include getting all the characters, helping out random NPCs with stuff. And there's a little unique things that I can do in 100% that would be I wouldn't necessarily be able to do in 100%, which makes 100% a little interesting, rather than just being a collectathon. And something that's, if you haven't already noticed, with Child of Light, I find the art fantastic, and the whole theming of the game. If you notice the narrator, the entire game, or maybe 98% of the game, is done entirely in rhyme. They keep that throughout the entire game. It adds a really unique touch.
Yeah, I mean, this game just looks, sounds, and feels like a modern-day fairy tale.
It really is. So it was light for the dress color. So I'll show off all the dress colors. You've already seen in the cutscene what the normal dress looks like. I'll show off dark, and then we'll get light selected. So you guys are really wanted your dress colors. So thank you so much for that. So here we have normal. Can you not select it from this? Okay, well, that's a little annoying. Let's go in here. I guess I'll just select the, you can only select it from the main menu. I apologize. So inked, I believe, is the correct one. We don't have to watch the cutscene again.
How good was your load on the?
I didn't actually pay attention. So this is the light dress. I believe the dark dress is the. What color is the dark dress? I'm trying to remember. Does anybody remember?
Is it blue?
This is the blue one.
This is the blue one.
Yeah. How about I quickly, before we get into it, I'll show off that one as well. Just so you guys can, the people who didn't quite get it can just see what they would have gotten before we really get started. So Princess of the Wind.
I thought inked was the dark one. And
you might be right on that. We'll see here. Here we go. I believe this is Yes, this is the correct dress. So this is light. The white and blue dress with the white hair was dark. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started with after that delay. So we start off here doing a little bit of platforming. At the beginning of the game, there's just a little bit of running and jumping that we have to do for the first maybe 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, not so much running in this case. A lot of jumping.
A lot of jumping, and the reason I'm doing that is obviously it's speed running, so I'm trying to go fast, and jumping is a little bit faster than just running. So I'm trying to jump these or time these jumps, so it's one after another. And if I do it well enough, then I'm kind of keeping a lot of forward momentum. And if I do it a little bit too late or just get the timing off, then I lose a lot of my momentum going forward on the landing animation. So we're introduced to our little firefly friend here, Nicholas, and he is kind of a big part of the run. So I'm playing this game on keyboard and mouse, so I'll actually be controlling Aurora with the keyboard, and Nicholas is kind of like your mouse cursor. And he'll act kind of two things for us. In the overworld, he is kind of our way of interacting with puzzles and certain items. And in battle, he actually serves a pretty important function, too, that I can get into a little bit. It's entirely preference on if you want to use keyboard and mouse or controller. I just prefer keyboard and mouse. There's no entirely speed reason for it. It's just preference. If you didn't see the last year, Essentia ran this with a few of her children. And that run was a little bit of a treat to watch because they had, there's actually, you could play this co-op where one person's controlling Aurora and another is controlling a Nicholas. So that was, if you haven't seen that, it's quite enjoyable.
It was a very hectic run. And very different from what this will be.
Yeah, I mean, it's I rely on Nicholas a lot, so I'm very impressed with not only Essentia but her children, and being able to get through the run it was a little chaotic at times, but they did manage to get through it. So to explain a little bit about the battle system, it's fairly straightforward. If anybody's familiar with your Final Fantasy, like we have an ATB bar at the bottom that you get to see. A little bit of a unique twist to it. If you're familiar with the Grandia series, there's an interruption mechanic that I'll heavily be relying on. When anything takes damage, when they're in the wait section, when anything takes damage when they're in the cast section, they'll get interrupted, and I'll just prevent them from taking that turn. They'll get pushed back, and then just have to go back and take their turn again. This applies to not only enemies, but it does also apply to me too. So the other important battle mechanic to kind of quickly go over that Nicholas will be doing for us is in battle, I'll mostly be using Nicholas to use up some of his light meter that you can see in the top left there. And if I use it on an enemy, it will actually slow them down. It'll slow down how fast they're going on the ATV bar. So that's pretty important.
That's a really heavy part of the strategy for the whole game, basically. One thing very much worth pointing out is that these two crickets he just fought are not required battles, but for the speedrun route they basically are, because he needs to be level 3 before he gets to the first boss in order for his strats to work.
Yeah, and if you guys like grinding, that was the entire grinding for this whole run. I'm already done with it, so at this point, I'm pretty much just going to be going from boss to boss to boss to boss. With 100% though, I will have to make sure to get those confessions and get those side quests.
So another thing that Igniculus can do is when you're outside of battle, if you have him shine on enemies, it will stun them, and that way you can get past them.
Yeah, like
without
right there?
having to fight. Yeah, right there.
Yeah, it's very, very important to do that, because I mentioned that I'm already done with grinding, so every other enemy I encounter, I'm just going to be, hopefully Nicholas will be blinding them so I can walk right past, but if I get into a battle accidentally, I can always just run away.
Yeah, fleeing is always instantaneous in this game.
It also makes it very easy to preempt an enemy the few times that you have to fight an enemy related to a quest or something.
That's true.
Yeah, because you can shine on them with Igniculus and then just walk through them and then attack them from behind as soon as the stun wears off.
So, in terms of little bits of platforming mechanics, this is the probably if you're learning the speed run. At least this was the first thing I really learned. It's just a neat little trick we can do to save a little bit of time from doing a puzzle section by kind of just skipping the puzzle. It takes a little bit to get used to, but if you saw that box in the upper left there, I'll basically be pushing it on in a certain spot on this ledge over here, and there's just be trying to jump to the ledge over to the right by just trying to get the do a proper jump. So let's hope I can do it in one try. I don't want to push the box too far though, like I just did there, because now I actually have to do the puzzle normally. So since this is a 100% run, I just wanted to show you what the what this puzzle looks like. That's the excuse I'll go with.
Costs what, like 20 to 30 seconds to mess that up?
Somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fairly. I mean, it's something you can get. The box jump, as it's called, is something you can get semi-consistent at with practice. But it is fairly challenging, both because you have to both line the box up at kind of the last pixel on the ledge before it falls off, and then you have to do a running jump onto it, then off of it without either jumping too early or falling off of the edge.
Yeah, there's a few different setups, so I know some of the other runners do it slightly different, but you do want to make sure to get the box in the right spot. I just pushed it a little too far.
I believe it's 20-ish seconds that it saves.
Somewhere like that. Depending on how fast you can set up the box and how long your setup takes. So we're coming up on our first boss here, and this fight will really highlight both using Aniculus and the interruption mechanic. If everything goes well, then the fight goes by just really fast. There's a few things that can throw a wrench in it, but for the most part, that should be on me to fix. For the most part, in this run, it's not really too much RNG I have to worry about. A lot of it is there's RNG in terms of what the enemies do, but it's entirely on me to react to it properly. So I want to get 3 starlights off on this back statue. Something else that I don't think we've explained yet is the wishes, if someone wants to take care of that.
Sure, pretty much every battlefield in the game has these glowing plants, like usually 2, but sometimes 3. And on casual mode, which is effectively normal mode, it's not actually easy mode, it's just kind of the normal difficulty. If you hover Igniculus over one of the plants, it'll release 3 different kinds of glowy dots called wishes. The most common one recovers the light meter for Igniculus, and there's also, I think it's like purple ones that give you HP, and then green ones that give you MP. So he was using that in order to get enough MP for an extra starlight over the MP he had going into the fight. And that let him take out the first statue, and then set up a loop on the other one with the ATB bar and shining with Igniculus so that he was interrupting its every action. And that was a really clean fight, too.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, the only thing I really try to worry about in that fight is the first turn. The front statue can do a move called Gather Strength, which is like a kind of delayed action, and that really messes up my ATB management, so I kind of have to pause what I'm doing and like figure out stuff. Normally, there is a cutscene skip that you can do here, but I thought it'd be nice just to see this cutscene. Basically, I could skip the cutscene by just quickly closing out of the game, opening it back up, loading the save. It saves a little bit of time, but I really like seeing the cutscenes sometimes, and it is 100%. Not that I'll be seeing all the cutscenes, though. Does give us a little bit of time to catch up on the story. So if you were paying attention to the very beginning of the game, we saw that Aurora is a princess from Austria, daughter of a duke. And one day she goes to sleep and doesn't wake up. She dies, essentially, right in the beginning of the game. But she wakes up in this unknown land, and she thinks she's dreaming. And then she runs into a Nicholas. Nicholas tells her that she needs to talk to this old lady. And this old lady tells her that you can go home, but you'll first need to collect the sun, the moon, and the stars. Then you'll be able to go home. She gives us the stars right away, and conveniently enough, the stars give us some wings, and now I don't have to do any more running and jumping anymore. I can just fly now.
Yeah, you can if you want to, but it's massively faster to just fly everywhere now.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit of it. They give us an air dash, so I'll pretty much just be flying and just spamming the air dash to get to the next place as quickly as possible. All right, and let's continue on. So what I just picked up there, and if you're paying attention at the end of the statues fight, I got what's called a Stardust. And if you're familiar with the concept of tabs and Inferno Trigger, kind of the same thing, just an item that you use, it gives you a permanent stat boost. They'll be important in the run later on. But for now, I'm just going to kind of be collecting them. I don't want to use most of them right away. I'll save them up for something special. And a reminder, this is 100%. Let's get that confession.
Well, this is confession number 1. They aren't actually in order.
Yeah, so
I think it's like number 5 that's next or something.
That's right. And it was a little frustrating when I was learning the routing out 100%, just because if I missed a single confession, it'd be really hard to figure out which one I missed, because yeah, they're not in order.
And you just picked up Rubella, who's his first support character.
Yeah, Rubella's a jester, and I mentioned at the beginning of the game that this game is almost done entirely in rhyming. Rubella just seems to have a little bit of trouble rhyming, though. It's kind of a little bit of joke that they do throughout the game, and Nicholas sometimes will finish her rhymes and get really upset that she's not playing along with everybody else.
Yeah, you can have one from this point forward. He's gonna have 2 characters in his party per battle, and you'll see that there's just a lot of routing and strategy around like which characters he uses, and also when he swaps them out mid battle.
Yeah, you can swap characters instantly out in battle. So in a lot of the fights, I'll be using multiple characters per fight. If someone wants to explain what I was doing just there.
He was spending his skill points. There's a couple different trees that each character has. Aurora has like a magic-based tree where she gets a Starlight spell, and then some upgrades of that later on, which she'll be focused on almost entirely. And then Rubella has some utility mostly, I think.
She gets Tumble, and Tumble is just a really fast action. So she kind of functions as a support character by interruption. So she's just fast and is able to interrupt stuff. But for now, she just does pretty good physical damage, as Aurora is going to be taking care of magic damage. So for the giant fight here, I'm going to be killing the wolves one at a time. And I do want to try to keep the giant interrupted so he doesn't get too many turns off. I'm going to take a second here just to heal Aurora up a little bit. I don't want it to get too low, else she dies a little bit too quickly.
And one of Igniculus's other functions in battle is that she can, or Igniculus can heal a party member instead of slowing an enemy.
Most of the time, Nicholas is going to be used to slow enemies in battle.
And then for pretty much all the remaining boss fights in the game, too, the boss has 2 helper monsters. And generally, the fights are going to play out that his first task is to take care of the helpers and then fight the main boss. And except with the exception of the final boss in the game, you do actually have to individually kill every enemy in the fight. You can't just, in this case, like kill the ogre and then win. You do have to kill both of the wolves too.
So you can kind of see I'm just trying to get in the loop here, and that loop broke. Oh no, Aurora. But it's okay if she dies. Characters will get full XP after battles, even if they are dead or not in the main party. So completely okay. Getting a little scary here.
I think he's pretty close to dead, though, isn't he?
He's pretty close to dead. Ooh, okay. Thank you, Wish.
That was good timing.
I'm just going to play it safe. Oh, well, he wasted a turn by gathering strength. I want to say he's going to die here. Yeah. So I could have been a little brave there and gone for it.
I'm a fan of Aurora just jumping up and starting her victory cheer too.
I was just taking a nap.
I hoped.
It's yeah, it's okay if Aurora dies in a completely optimal fight. It's actually, and if I'm playing to the best of my ability, it is actually faster for Aurora to die immediately when the wolves are gone, and then just have Rubella finish off the fight. Just because Rubella does a little bit more damage, and if I'm playing well, I can still keep the ogre from taking any turns, and if RNG is a little bit in my favor.
Every time you level up in this game, you get a full heal too, and since he's going to be leveling up after every boss, that makes his health management between fights mostly a non-issue.
Mm-hmm. There'll only be a few regarding the quests. There's only a few battles I will be taking that won't level me up, but that's kind of unique to 100%. So there's going to kind of be a interesting skip here that's I'm going to be doing. Essential, do you want to explain this a little bit?
Yeah, so here there's this character called Finn who will join your party. And normally, as soon as he joins your party, you go into the well, and the game auto-saves as soon as you get into the well. But we don't want to go do the well yet. In any percent, you would completely skip the well. Since we're doing 100%, we will do it, but not yet. We'll come back later where it'll be much faster when we have different characters and can do more damage. So what he's doing here is he started the cutscene with Finn.
This is fine.
This is totally normal. This is supposed to happen. But if you do that, if you initiate the cutscene with him and initiate going into the well at the same time.
Okay, that's a little annoying. Okay, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how fine would you say that this is?
This is now fine.
I'd say this is Finn.
This is Finn. Okay, so now we check to see if I did that correctly or if I'm going to have to try it again. Hey, good job, guys. I did it. So you notice that we left Finn there. And why did we go through that if we're just leaving Finn behind? Well, he's actually in our party.
Yeah.
If I were to pause right now, you could see that he is actually in our party. And as Essentia was saying, that we're supposed to do the well, but we do the Finns. We call it the Finn skip. To just keep him in our party because I do very much want him with bypassing having to do the well. Since it's 100%, I will have to eventually go back and do it. But we'll save that.
Yeah,
for
most
later.
of the glitches in this game involve abusing the autosave system in some manner.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I'm trying to think of one that doesn't. I did think of one just now that we'll be seeing later on where it lets me skip a cutscene. But everything else does involve. I think everything else just does involve some weird abuse of auto-saving.
Yeah,
The game just.
And then Finn is the elemental mage type character. He has access to all of the elements except light, which is exclusive to Aurora as far as damaging spells.
Yeah, Aurora, like her tree or skill pass, you can take with her. She's the main protagonist, so of course she can kind of do a bit of everything. We just focus on the magic part as we want that light-based magic damage. And here we run into our sister, well, stepsister actually. She's very surprised to see us alive, and she tells us she knows a way home. So we're very glad to see that. So she joins our party. She's actually a very good character. She kind of functions as a support role. She has a haste move and a move that makes you uninterruptible. That I'll be using for a few fights. So I'm just going to go down here, pick up a confession. We have a little bit of free time right now, so I think that would probably be an okay time for a donation or two.
Oh, that's fantastic. I've been chomping at the bit here. We had $5 from one Big Fong Balls. He says, hello, Takaze. If this isn't the world's record, then I am unsubbing. And he put in a text emoticon with smiling face with sunglasses. Good luck with this one.
Okay, well, Bick, if you post a data face in chat, I'll try to make sure this is the world's record.
We also had $5 from Grimelios. Had to donate for Child of Light, but also to hear Vol'jin's commentary voice. So, hey, that's me. Good luck, Takaze, and all other remaining runners.
So you saw there, I got into a fight, but immediately can get out of it. And in a little bit here, there's going to be some chests I'll be picking up. If you've been paying attention, I've already picked up a few, but there's going to be some Oculi. And Oculi kind of are this game's form of equipment. They're a little bit like Diablo 2 gems, in fact, where I can combine them together to get stronger versions of the same gem type. Or I can combine different ones together to get new and different things. And depending on what quote-unquote slot I put them on, they do different effects. Like if I put a ruby, which is red, onto a weapon, or my weapon slot, that gives me some fire damage. Armor slot would give me some fire resistance. So we're going to talk to the town mayor here. He's a mouse. And the purpose of us going here is we need to find a way up to this mirror that Nora's been talking about, but we can't just fly up there because something about winds being too strong. So we're going to have to get some help. And this guy called Robert joins our party. He's a rat with a bow. He will function as kind of a AoE physical attacker. He's pretty good. We'll be using them throughout the run. And he also does have a slow on some of his attacks that we'll be using quite a bit.
Yeah, because the haste and slow statuses are very, very useful in this game because of being able to kind of combine them with the interrupt mechanic in order to kind of set up infinite loops on bosses.
In terms of my favorite part of the run, this section is definitely not it. So we're going to have to go do a little bit of operation on this living mountain to see what's wrong inside of her. Turns out her heart's not doing too well, so I wonder what could it be? What could be wrong? I guess we'll just have to find out. A few chests to pick up here. Well, it looks like Magna has a serious problem with spiders living inside of her, so we're going to, I guess, do a little bit of an operation here. So this section is my least favorite just because the spiders are forced encounters, so I will have to fight each and every one of them. And also, each of the fights are a little... the most, I guess, RNG part of the run. The spiders can do different things. They can slow me. Oops, I did not get a preemptive attack there. In fact, I got ambushed. Ooh. Not the worst thing ever, because I can still just run away. But I should know better than that.
It's worth pointing out, too, that these fights are a little bit more dangerous in 100% than in an any percent run because he's been holding off on using his stat-boosting Stardust items so far. So his stats are a little bit lower than they'd be in an any percent run.
So there's two ways I will approach this fight depending on which character I can get to start first. I prefer Nora to start first as I can set up a lull all Search, which I just kind of love that name. Which lol is just the spell for slow, so I'll just refer to it as slow for the rest of the run. But as Puexo was mentioning, it really nice dodge. It just allows me to set up these interrupts to make the fights much more manageable. So let's get this guy.
Yeah, he's having to make some kind of on the fly decisions about which spider to slow based on.
Robert is doing a very
where
good
they
job
are.
at dodging here. So normally, at least I think the first dodge I actually had Unstoppable on, but the second dodge I definitely didn't. So Robert is pulling his weight. So there'll be 3 of those fights that are identical. And as we level up, after each fight, it does get a little bit easier. First fight being, the most difficult. The third fight definitely being the easiest, just because I'll be able to level up Nora a little bit more, where she'll have also have an AoE move as well. So just makes it a little bit faster. And there's these fireballs I want to dodge, not because that they do damage. Well, they do, but they just waste some time if I get hit. So Nora starting again, that's what I like to see. I'll have the same setup as I did last fight.
Yeah, if he takes damage from the fireballs, it's only Aurora that actually takes the damage, and she doesn't participate in the spider fight, so that's why that's a non-issue.
Getting this Unstoppable off again.
Yeah, I forget if we mentioned it, but Unstoppable prevents you from getting interrupted.
Oh, nice double crit. Good job, Robert. Let's make sure the back one gets hurt a little bit.
Robert has a fairly high critical hit rate. I want to say it's about 20% or so.
By the end of the game, it'll get to be around, I want to say 16. Right now, I could take a look, but it's a little bit less than that right now. But it is pretty solid. That's what this time. I want to say these 2 should die now.
Ooh.
Well, that one had something to say about that. Guys, I completed an action.
Thank you, you play.
Thank you, you play. So that's just an achievement system. The reason why it doesn't tell me what action I did is just because I have you play an offline mode, because I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, let's not please go into that.
So, I'm bonking into everything here. I have to remember to pick up a confession that's just hiding right over here.
I don't know how that hasn't caught on fire yet, but
I can't answer that for you. So this is another side quest that we'll be doing, and it's one that we also do in any percent. We have to do this to keep Robert in our party, and unlike Finn, we haven't found a way where we can keep Robert in our party by bypassing this quest. But it's a pretty quick quest. So there's a vault that has a bunch of gold, and Robert wants to will stay in our party if we can figure out how to unlock this vault. And it must be so secure because nobody's been able to figure this out. So what's the combination here?
Hardest combination ever.
I guess I'll just flip that twice. That looks, I don't know, guys. Oh, look at that. We did it. Oh, but it's not over yet. Maybe this is the part that people couldn't figure out, so you have to use a Nicholas to just light these things. And that's unlocking a mound of gold. You'll see in a second here. Not very secure. I'm sure their security team will have some harsh words to say to them.
Told them they should have gotten 2-factor.
It was though. It had the symbols
there
and
you
then
go.
the light puzzle though.
That's the 2-factor. Yeah.
And you need to have a glowy firefly spirit in order to Solved.
It turns out if you write the combination on the door, you kind of compromise your security.
That is true.
Ooh, I'm going to play it a little risky here by going for a lull all. So usually if Nora starts second, I don't like doing this, but we've had such a good spider section that I feel a little lucky. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, is what I was hoping for.
Ew, he got slowed too.
Yeah. Both got slowed. Oh, this is why I don't play risky. I'll just fix that. I want to try to keep them grouped up together. So a lot of what I'm spending on Aniculus here is just trying to keep the spiders. Good dodge. Oh, can't do 2 for 2.
Yeah, you don't have the
2 for 3 is good enough. Nice crit. So Nora's normal attacks do have a pretty good chance to, that was my fault, pretty good chance to paralyze an enemy. It actually kind of cost me a little bit there because unfortunately Paralyze does lose, kind of remove the slow that I put onto them. So not the best job by Nora there, but we're done with the spiders, at least the small spiders. And what do you do when you kill a bunch of small spiders? I guess we have to kill a big spider now. And I mentioned the oculi earlier, where you can kind of combine them. So you'll see that here. And thankfully, each of those spiders gives us a particular oculi, where I can combine them together to make what's called an onyx. These 3 together, which will increase magic power, which I'm going to give to Finn. Small point of note, I have much more oculi than I would normally because of the dresses. So in a normal run, you typically use the rules. You're not allowed to use DLC. We'll make an exception here. So I'm going to combine some stuff together. We got a Tourmaline, which will also increase magic. And we got to level everybody up. And for Finn, we go down the lightning path just because it happens to have the best passive ability attached onto it. Also, in later fights, lightning will be very, very good on some of the later boss fights. So this spider fight is probably going to be the quote-unquote hardest fight in the game, just because I'm a little bit underpowered than I would be in an any percent run. And after this, I'll be doing some unique things to power up. And this is the first time that we see interruption counters, where if I interrupt the big, scary spider, it'll counter with a I'll counterattack with a quicken, which will just I was trying to avoid that situation again, so as you can see, this is really frustrating for me to deal with. So I'm going to try to get back on track here. That's another annoying move the spider has. So I'm just going to use a single lull elixir to slow the boss so I can try to figure out what I'm doing here. I'm going to remove that paralyze with the only way I actually know how, with Robert. All right, I think we'll be okay. Robert's a little low. Thank you for dodging. That was actually a little scary. Robert's been doing a really good job at this dodging, so definitely deserves something. I'm going to switch to Rebella, who's a little bit faster than Nora, and I'm just going to try to get some extra damage off on these small spiders here. Once the small spiders are down, there we go. It'll be a little bit easier. I'll bring out Finn to finish the spider off with magic, as it's pretty resistant to physical attacks. And I'm going to bring out Nora again. There's just some extra buffs.
So yeah, this fight went a little off the rails at the beginning because this boss, whenever you counter it, it hastes the whole party. Some of the other bosses will do other nasty things if you interrupt them, such as slow your party or heal.
Yeah, some fights were okay with interruptions on the getting interruption countered. Some fights were definitely not, and this is definitely one of those. So I need to actually going to bring out Aurora again. And I don't have enough MP, so let's fix that. I don't actually need to use the all version.
Just fixing that by picking up wishes from the glowy plants on the side.
Not again.
Interestingly, the Paralyzed doesn't actually interrupt you.
It doesn't. It doesn't. So you'll see here, Finn's still able to finish off his move. Okay, gather strength, so I know its next move is going to be an AoE attack, so I can kind of plan for that. Let's just defend here, because nothing's going to happen anyway. Alright. Should be out of this soon.
This is the last turn, possibly, isn't it?
I think so. I think so. Let's go, Finn. Might be one more round. Yeah. Aurora shouldn't need to do anything, so let's just not get interrupted, Finn. Why can't you be more like Robert? Alright, here it is. Pretty sure I'm not wrong. Yeah. Whew. That was a little messier than I would have liked to see. So immediately coming out of this battle, there's cutscene skip I'm going to be doing, and all I'm going to try to do is a pause. Let's see if I can get it. Hey, I did it. So I am now going to skip a cutscene where we usually would get to see Robert being rejected by Margaret. But Robert did such a good job in that last section, we don't need to put him through that. So I'm going to go back to the well, which I skipped earlier, to finish off Finn's side quest, so that I can actually start doing some of these side quests, because right now Finn's village has been turned into a bunch of birds, and a few of them have some quests for us, and I kind of have to unbird them to be able to do those quests.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do quests from jerks, and all birds are jerks.
Yeah, so that cutscene skip it's kind of a similar concept to how the Finn skip worked, although he needed to go far enough away, basically, from where the cutscene is supposed to take place, that the game is in has a different zone loaded that doesn't include that cutscene.
That's right. If I teleported, say, to the wind wheels, you would kind of see the same thing that happened with the Finn skip, where both the teleporting and the cutscene would kind of be happening at the same time. So by teleporting it back all the way to the village here, it has to load that, and therefore it just interrupts the cutscene, and it just I started the cutscene, so the game must think that I finished the cutscene. Let's see if there's anything quick we can level up here. This is a pretty straightforward fight because we skipped this section, so this is kind of coming back to do something a little bit easy now. And this is supposed to be a fight that's kind of still a tutorial fight, teaching you about elemental damage, because this is the first real fight that you would have Finn take part of. But we're just going to kill stuff with Robert, I think, here.
I think this is some of the best music in the game.
Yeah, I really do like the boss music in this game. As you can see, there's 3 element snakes here. I got water, lightning, and the fire one there. But I'm going to kind of ignore that and just kill them this way. Let's go for another lightning strike all, another rain arrows.
We don't actually have any of the other elementals, so even though the...
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice job, Finn.
Yeah, nice job, Finn. I'm sorry I talked poorly about you. So a big reason we skip doing this whole section in any percent, I mean, the boss would still be pretty straightforward, but there's a kind of a lengthy cutscene afterwards. And Finn tells Aurora that if you look inside the waters now, you're going to see something that you're wishing for. And of course, she wants to go back home to her father, so she gets to see what her father is up to now. But he's in bed; he doesn't look too good. So we should. If you remember, as far as your father or Aurora's father knows, Aurora's dead to her, literally. So he's quite heartbroken. So we got to get that sun and the moon as quickly as we can. But we're going to cure the town now. We don't want them to be jerks anymore. They're not bad people.
Do we have time for maybe some donations?
Yeah, we would.
That sounds great, because, boy, we have a whole bunch of these piled up. We had $3.58 from TJF 588. Said 358 card breaks over 2. We sad boys now. It's I think a reference to Chain of Memories, which will be coming up after this run. We had $5 from Del Stimpson. Good luck with both the runs, Takaze. Feeling hyped for that box jump. Yeah, see, that's how far behind we are right now.
Oh dear.
Also,
You got a
don't
few
forget
minutes.
to talk to Akash after Tenderville. We also had $4 from Anonymous. Happy solo day, Birthman. Did I meme that right? Also, hi, Plexel.
Hello.
We had $50 from Liger Zero. No comment. Thank you very much. $20 from Becky Chen. Exactly as last year at SGDQ. Here's a little rhyme from me to you. The 100% run, today it is. So I made sure that I don't miss. A new world record is possible, so we'll see. I wish good luck and send greetings from Germany.
Shout outs to Becky. She's actually doing the German restream, and she did that for, I believe, SGDQ last year as well. Just a Child of Light community member, really supportive. Thanks a lot, Becky. Speaking of the restreams, so Becky is doing the German restream. On the French restream, we have another Child of Light community member, Zigwiwi. He holds the world record for the New Game Plus category, quite a little bit different than this one. And I believe also there's Eeks assisting Wiwi on the French restream. And for the Japanese restream, we have my good friend Keishura. So shout outs to all of them for doing the restreams. So I'm starting to pick up some side quests here. And the first thing I'm actually going to do is find a flying pig. His name is Achilles. Where could he be hiding? If you want to squeeze in a donation or two, that would be fine.
Oh, absolutely. We've got still more. $10 from Keegan. Good day, Takaze and Silverfire. Here's $10 from your friendly neighborhood punster. Knowing how you both feel about bad puns, I will skip any for now. Just kidding. Why did the lemurs flock to Aurora? Because she's in Lemuria, of course.
That was so bad I forgot what I'm doing. Going back here. Thanks, Keegan. So I'm just going to turn in the side quest, and a few of these side quests are going to give me a hefty stack of Stardusts. And I mentioned earlier that I'm going to be saving a lot of them for something special later on. I'd have to wait till I see the Stardust that I've gotten. Stardust get. Let's go and do another side quest. If I didn't kill enough spiders earlier, we're going to be killing them again. These spiders, thankfully, are quite a bit easier, as I was supposed to have done this quest much earlier in the than what is intended, so kind of get a little bit of revenge. These fights are pretty straightforward, so you're welcome to squeeze some more donations in.
All right. We had $1 from Ghost King. He said, wait, this isn't Star Ocean. Oh well, pretty game, great runner and couch. Happy to get to see you guys tomorrow. Great event so far. Shoutouts to the late night tech crew and staff. And Villagen. Heart.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet you guys, King. Thanks a lot.
We also had $15 from Callan Dakari. As Riku's one of my favorite Kingdom Hearts characters, I can't pass up the chance to get to see his final boss fight with low HP. Here's another $15 to make that happen. I believe that should have met that incentive at that point. And it does. So we'll get to see that happen after the Chain of Memories run, after this run.
Oh, I normally would kill them, but I think I forgot to equip an Acolyte onto Robert. These guys are actually weak to fire, and I think I forgot to put the Ruby on his weapon. Just would save a little bit of time here. So fairly straightforward fights, and I think that's the last battle we need to do. Some things we also miss a little bit in any percent that we'll see a little bit of in 100% is there's a lot of dialogue between your characters. Whenever you get a new character in your party, you know, they like to chat with everybody else. So there'll be, for this run, we'll be seeing that happen after every single non-forced encounter situation. So just a little bit of friendly dialogue between, I believe that was Finn and Rubella there. Actually, I think I forgot to do something. So there's a free trade quest, which I got a little ahead of myself there. The goal is this mouse gives you an apple, and you need to turn it into gold. So we're just going to be kind of doing a little bit of a trading train. So I trade the apple for a shovel, and then I'll trade the shovel for something else, and then something else, and eventually I'll get gold.
So apple, shovel, question mark, profit.
Yeah. Not too sure how much profit it is because this game actually doesn't have any sort of currency because there's really there's no shop, as there's really no kind of normal form of equipment. Like I mentioned earlier, the Alkali is our equipment, and all the items that we'll be picking up we get from chests, which there are plenty of, and then any encounters I get myself into.
Maybe that explains the low security vault.
Well, yeah, gold just isn't really worth that much. While I'm doing this, I have this horrible fear that, have I forgotten a confession?
I don't think you have.
I think I forgot the one after Nora, and it's gonna bug me. It's gonna bug me for a while, and I don't know which number it is too.
I have to confess. You might have. I'm not sure.
Okay, so last bit of free trade here. I can take a little bit of a shortcut just by going under the waterfalls to just push me down. And this guy's working in the dark. What is up with him? And I guess all gold is worth is just a lantern. So yeah, gold really isn't worth all that much in the land of Lemuria. It's going to teleport back here. It's a little bit faster. And this guy was a little bit of a jerk because the reason he had us do this quest is we wanted to attend an economics class. And he says that, maybe we're too young, or he didn't want us, and maybe it's because we're not a mouse. And he said to prove your worth, turn this apple into gold. We still don't get to attend the economics class, but he does give us a bunch of strength Stardust, so that's probably better than economics. It's going to be our last side quest at this time. And there will be some encounters I do here. And I really want to make sure to remember to put on an Akalai here onto Robert, as all these guys are going to be weak to... I actually don't even have a good Sapphire, so this one will have to do. All these guys are weak to water. Sneak it behind you. And
even though they're weak to water, he's using lightning just because that's the only AoE spell that Finn has in this build.
These ghosts have annoying counterattack when they get hit by something physical. A little frustrating. These fights are not too difficult, just we have to get through them. I usually will opt to do Hinder if it's a single target enemy with Robert, just because it's considered a spell and therefore won't miss. Ooh, I want this chest. This chest is really important. Oh no!
What's inside?
What's inside? That doesn't sound too good. I don't want that item. Get rid of it. Nice crit. And because of the wishes, I'm able to stay topped off on my HP and MP, so I don't have to worry about dropping low. One thing about expert difficulty that makes it quite hard is wishes don't recover HP and MP. They only will fill up Nicholas's light meter. So you definitely would have to change up a lot of strategies. I have done an expert 100% run, but it is a little more difficult for the first half of the run.
Also on expert, I believe your interrupts are less effective.
That's another thing. Along with stats for enemies are higher, we get less XP, and I'm trying to think. There's something else that I'm just not remembering. But expert really is. It's not just everything has more stats and stuff like that. It's quite a few other things that makes it quite a bit harder, and it might be not. It might be hard to note at first, but then when you start playing it, especially if you played a lot of casual and you're familiar with that, it's quite the step up. Hit this lever, please. Thank you. A little bit of a puzzle here. You just have to go fast, but I'm speedrunning, so I'm already trying to do that. Another chest. Well, it surprised us the first time. I'm not too sure why it's that surprising the second time. This will be our last fight, thankfully, though. Oh, nice crit, Finn. Finn's getting a lot of crits.
Finn's critical rate is a lot lower than Robert's.
Yeah.
Finn or Aurora getting crits with their magic is very good luck.
And we are done, so we just have to find a quick way out. And if you pay a little bit of attention, Nora isn't the most friendly person to your party members. Even to Aurora, she's making some comments that seem like she's being nice, but she's kind of an older, meaner older sister. I wouldn't know anything about meaner older siblings. Not you, Sel. All right, so we are rewarded with some. Gotta make sure to get the item before I leave. Otherwise, sometimes it won't give it to me. And we get some magic Stardusts, which is definitely nice. So I think I can move on to the next section. And earlier I talked about these the Stardusts and kind of hoarding them up for a little bit. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to kind of be, I guess the best way I can describe it as duping them. And it'll be very kind of obvious what I'm doing, and it's not something, it will take some time to do. And basically the way it works is I will use all but a single starlight, or any particular item. It actually works with any consumable, but I'll be using the starlights. I'll use all but one of them. I have to keep one, otherwise it won't work. And from these Stardusts, as I mentioned earlier, Stardusts give you extra stats. I'll get into a particular fight. I'm going to be using Griffin here. And then I'll just immediately flee from the fight. And for whatever reason, when I flee, I'll go back to a particular spot. And if I look in my menu, I notice that, oh, well, it gave me the Stardust back. But then if you look a little bit closer, you notice that I still have the stat increases. So I'll be using the items, and then the game will give it back to me. So I'm going to make sure that save goes away, because this is kind of something else that is based on the autosave abuse. I have to keep one. All right, so I'm going to get into a fight here. So hopefully I've done it correctly here. I'll do this twice before Griffin, and I'll do another twice before later on. So immediately get away out of the fight. So that's the moment of truth. Okay, I've done it correctly. Sigh of relief for me. Okay, well, I accidentally used all of them. Not the best thing ever, but HP is probably the least important one. And it's most important to go on Aurora, so I'm kind of comfortable with the HP that she has now. So I'll do that one more time. So because I accidentally used up all the HP, because I guess I can't count properly, Oangus, who's a character later on, will have a little bit less HP than I would normally have, but that's okay. He has enough HP. He doesn't need any more. All right, so let's take a quick look at my stats. 79 magic is well enough. And by doing this, it makes, as you can imagine, getting extra strength and extra magic will make the fights later on much easier. And at this point, it kind of becomes a lot easier than any percent. I'm going to take a quick look what I have. Let's get some better tourmalines here. And, oh, you have the Onyx. I have to give it to her.
It would be possible to do this glitch in any percent, but it's not. I mean, you don't get as many Stardusts in the any percent route, so the amount of time you'd have to spend setting up the dupe glitch wouldn't pay off.
Especially because you can't use the last Stardust of each type.
I just noticed that I must have messed up on this last time, or I did something incorrectly, so I won't be able to do this before Cordelia, but that's okay. That's okay. Anyway, the setup for this fight is still the same as any percent. It's a little particular.
Yeah, Griffin is arguably the most difficult boss in the speedrun. And that's the main reason why, is because if you interrupt Griffin, it'll cast slow on your whole party.
The setup I do for the fight, though, does involve interrupting it at the start, so that's very much intentional. I'll be trying to avoid that for the rest of the fight. If I do accidentally interrupt at this point, that's definitely not something I want to see. So I'll get rid of that slow with a quicken. Aurora should be doing a lot more damage than normal. I've got about a 50% damage increase. So this fight will end a few turns quicker than in any percent. Not to mention Robert having a boost to his strength as well.
And we'll again use the unstoppable buffs so that we can use these slower AoE spells without really worrying about whether we'll get interrupted.
I'm going to take a bit of a chance here. Chance ruined. nice interrupts. And a lot of the strategy in this fight is just making sure those Banshees stay interrupted until they die. And once they do die, I can bring out Robert here, who will be doing quite a bit of damage. About double the damage he would in any percent. Let's increase that damage a little bit more. Ooh. So yeah, that's a lot of damage. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Nora. So compared to my SGDQ run last year, I had a little bit of trouble in the Griffin fight, so this is a little bit of payback.
I'd say another factor in why the Griffin is such a challenging boss is that the Banshees only really take damage from magic, and then the Griffin only really from physical attacks, so you're not really making any progress towards killing the Griffin while you're fighting the Banshees.
Yeah, that's true. There's quite a few fights like that where, yeah, if you want to focus on the helpers and you have to use one particular damage type, and if you're playing casually and you decided to go down like the physical route for Aurora, your only option is to use Finn. And well, Finn does pretty good damage. He doesn't do light-based damage, and he has the problem of being a little slow, and his spells use a lot of MP. So I imagine that would be quite a little difficult if you're going for if you didn't get magic-based Aurora. I have to remember to pick up this confession, and
You have to pick it up with your bare hands because Nicholas is not with you.
jeez, Nicholas, why'd you leave me? So we're actually going home here, or so Nora tells us. So we abandon our friends, and Nora's taking us home. But this doesn't, I mean, I haven't been to Austria, but I imagine this probably isn't what Austria looks like. Aurora definitely knows she's not in Austria, but we trust her sister. Oh look, it's our stepmother and our other sister. But things don't look too good. Nora looks a little scary. Your mom looks a little scary. Your other sisters, well, it turns out that they actually want to kill you. So they actually want to rule the land of Lemuria, which they kind of currently are, not too pleasantly, and you're kind of a threat to them. But they try to kill you, but for whatever reason, they can't. Nora points out that it's likely due to that crown that we have on our head. And here's Aurora's actual mother, and I think this is a little appropriate. I guess it's probably past midnight at this point, but it's almost Mother's Day, just afterwards. So I think we can appreciate saying Happy Mother's Day to all mothers out there. And if I can, just really quickly, I want to say how important Nami is personally to me, because a few years ago, my mother was actually going through depression as she suffers from fibromyalgia, and that was really difficult for her. And she actually sought out help from Nami. So personally, Nami is something really important to me. So Happy Mother's Day. Thank you, Nami. Thank you for everything you do. And I'm going to try to not cry. You can probably do a donation or two.
Well, we had $5 from an anonymous donor, and they say, new French bid war started. Collaboration with the German restream. Let's make it high. And it did not specify in the comment what that was for, but it looks like it went towards a file name for Paper Mario, so it looks like they're targeting that now. So if you would like to take up the cause against the forces of the French and German restreams, best of luck to you, but give it a shot to see if you can get your own Paper Mario file name. We'll just remind you all that this is RPG Limit Break 2017, and we are here, as mentioned by our runner Takaze, we are here to support the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which does fantastic work in raising awareness and fighting the stigma against mental illness. If you want to support NAMI, you can do so during the course of our event by donating via our website, rpglimitbreak.com/donate. Your funds do go directly to the charity. They don't touch our hands at all, but we'll be able to show them in our pretty little counter on the top of the stream there that makes us look pretty good.
So, Awangus here is probably my favorite character in terms of the speed run. He's does a whole bunch of physical damage, and he kind of acts as your like fighter slash tank. And I think because I believe I messed up a little bit in the Stardust, he's not going to be doing as much damage as I would normally like to see, but he's still pretty good. And right now we don't have anybody in our party. We have to rescue the rest of our friends. And Awangus was actually working for Umbra, but he knows of the song that you played for him. So he wants to be a good person, and you've kind of changed his mind. So we're going to rescue our friends. It's a little odd to actually see Finn here because there's a few cutscenes that kind of glitch out a little bit when you do the Finn skip. He's in your party, but at the same time he's not in your party. The game gets a little confused sometimes. And for those who have played the game before, you may have noticed that I forgot a character, but I'll be picking him up later on, so very intentional to skip Tristus. And there's a confession I intentionally skipped over as well in the same area. Go. So there's a little bit of a time save there. Normally after doing the gear, activating the gear, and then pulling the lever, after each one there's a little bit of a cutscene where you're kind of locked out from doing anything. But if you do them at the same time, it kind of cancels each other out. And again, this is 100%, so I actually do have to do Awangus' side quest. In any percent, there's a similar thing we can do as the Finn skip, we can do the Awangus skip. I like the lore for the any percent run a little bit better because we tell Awangus that we're going to help him, and we change our mind real quickly, and then somehow manage to convince Awangus to join us anyway. But, you know, 100% Aurora is a little nicer than any percent Aurora.
So we've got a little bit of a labyrinth puzzle here.
So the trick is that they do a pretty good job at not making it obvious. There's a statue with a shield pointed out here, and that there'll be a symbol on there, and the symbol will correspond to one of the doors. But if you know where to go already, you can just go straight to the door. And if I mess up, if I make any mistakes, you gotta start all over. All right, there we go. So what we are helping Awangus with is freeing his people. So he himself was helping out Umbra, but his clan was pretty defiant against her. So they kind of mark him as an outcast, but still thank Aurora. And Awangus is pretty saddened by this because he doesn't want to. Doesn't want to be an outcast. He feels like he has no purpose left, but hey, just join our party. You'll feel better. And listen to this song. It'll make you feel better. Oh, wow, I feel a lot better now. Thank you, Aurora. So, next fight, Cordelia, is a little less difficult than Griffin. Still pretty scary just because of like Griffin, the ads are really frustrating to deal with, and we don't want to, where are you? There you are. We don't want to interrupt Cordelia, so let me double check. Yeah, like I said, I kind of done goofed here. So I'll just do this. I'll kind of use up all of what I have. It's most important to get the everything done before Griffin. It's a little frustrating that I messed it up and can't do this before Cordelia, where Wengus gets a little bit stronger, but we'll still be able to get through this. Everybody else is good. Archelai, that's what I'm trying to remember here.
Wengus is still absurdly strong.
Wengus is pretty good, and we'll be using heavy use of him because he's really the only one that can take a beating, and he has a taunting.
Are you warmed up to count to 3?
Oh, counting to 3 is hard.
3 is the number to which we shall count.
So we have to count to 3 because taunt will last 3 turns. No more, no less. 4 is now I'm misremembering my Monty Python quotes. Someone might need to help me.
5 is right out.
5 is right out. Unfortunately, Wheel of Death is really annoying there. That's the move I'm kind of trying to avoid in this fight, and what can sometimes make this fight a little difficult.
Yeah, just because Wheel of Death is a fairly strong AoE attack. And also, like with Griffin, Cordelia has a interrupt counter, in this case heal, so he wants to avoid it at all cost while the helpers are still alive, because it'll heal them for, I think, roughly 10% of their max health.
Technically 9%, which we used to think it was 10% for a really long time, and it took us, we had to do some math. Math is sometimes hard.
There's no actual indication anywhere about exactly how much health anything has.
Right. Something else kind of interesting to note, even though these two helpers look identical, they actually have, for whatever reason, different HP amounts. And just single targeted Starlight instead of multi-target.
I don't know if we actually explain what taunt does too. It guarantees that all single target attacks will target a Wengus.
Right, and that gets it so that I'm able to cast these Starlights without Wheel of Death. That's something that can still interrupt me. Since I lost Nora, I don't have another way of getting unstoppable on this fight's going on. A little scary, just because Wengus is taking a beating. Is this going to interrupt? It is. So we get to see what happens. It's not the worst thing ever. It's not nearly as bad as Griffin.
It's also less bad on 100% because that's undoing only about half of a turn instead of a full turn's worth of damage.
So Dreadful Cry is actually pretty good, just because her Paralyze is actually not that strong. It'll go away pretty quickly here, so it's already done. Spider's Paralyze, even though it's supposed to be an easier fight, lasts forever. I'll get another turn taunt, because I haven't been doing a good job at counting, so I'm probably counting to 2 and then taunting. But better to be safe than sorry. If taunt does go down for any reasonable length of time, Aurora likely will die, because there's some sort of aggression mechanic. I don't know exactly how it works, but almost all the time, if taunt goes down, they'll target straight for Aurora without fail. So because I accidentally did a single target on the top one, they didn't die at the same time. Not super ideal, but I can just get through this setback. Pretty nice. Another nice thing about a Wengus is his normal attack does have a setback property. Just knocks him back a little bit on the ATB bar. Not too much, but sometimes it can be pretty impactful. Ooh, a Wengus. You know what? We'll get through this. Nice.
Cordelia does go down fairly fast once the Grim Reaper helpers are gone. There we go. First round of sibling rivalry done.
Yeah, older sisters turn into dragons. is what I've learned from playing this game. I don't have any older sisters, so as far as I know, that's a completely accurate statement.
I am an older sister.
Does she
Are
turn
you
into a
also a
dragon?
dragon?
So we collected the moon now, and well, the first time we collected the stars, we got some wings. We collect the moon, and we get a little bit older. I guess that's something that happens. Additionally, you may notice that the skill trees were maybe only half filled. They now kind of expand for everybody. So we start to get to some really powerful versions of the skills. Specifically for Aurora and Finn, their spells will become much more impactful. Aurora gets elevate damage. Even though I've had it this whole time, it hasn't been good enough for me to use. But now I'll start be worthwhile actually spending some time using it. And we have a few minutes before the next boss, so I think we'll probably some ample time for a donation or two.
Well, I do want to mention that chat came to your assistance on the whole quoting thing. And it goes, 4 shalt thou not count, neither countst thou to 2, excepting that thou then proceed to 3. So there you go with that. Make sure.
Thank you,
was
Twitch
right
chat.
out.
Correctly count to 3, not 4, not 2, certainly not 5. We'll also remind you all that we have, for the upcoming run of Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, we have one more donation incentive that hasn't been met yet. That is for the Versus Mode battle at the end of the run. Ozzy889 will join in for a Versus Mode battle against Ghost Wheel. I'm sure that will totally not be lopsided. Currently, that is out of the $300 goal, that is currently at $28.58. So you do have the entirety of the rest of this run and also that run to meet it, but let's get that out of the way and we can start moving on to other incentives too.
All right, so we get introduced to another character, actually my favorite character again. Unfortunately, we don't use her at all for the speed run, just because we get her pretty late in the run, and her kit, well, I find it pretty cool casually. Just isn't useful for us. Got some more light puzzles. This one involves some numbers. 13. Oh, 13's right there.
Yeah, so normally these pedestals, you're supposed to push them all the way down into that room. But if you already know where the numbers are, you can still get them even when they're off screen.
Particularly with this one. I'm going to try to do it blind here. And look, I did it. It's a little bit tricky, but once you just figure out the positioning, you can get that fairly consistently. Got some levels up to do, as I mentioned earlier. Our tree has expanded. I don't need to do anything with Rubella, unfortunately, anymore. Check Alkali. You can. Oh, geez, I have so much here. What do I do with all this?
So the numbers on those pedestals, Takaze, are those the numbers of the best Final Fantasy games? Is that what we're seeing here?
Well, I see an 8, 13, and 5. So maybe those are Paruxel's favorite Final Fantasies.
Maybe.
Maybe you should ask him.
He didn't say no.
Maybe you should check the FAQ. So now we have, I believe the community calls this boss the Giant, which is it's just kind of a redo with the Ogre that we fought like about an hour ago.
Yeah, interestingly enough, nowhere in the game does it actually give you names for most of the things that we fight. So we kind of made up our own names for a lot of things, or at least the runners before me did so. So we usually call this Ogre. The first one's usually Giant, but I mean, they're really it's a refight, as Paruxel mentioned. We do it a little bit differently, as we have new people in our party. I want to make sure. Ideally, I would have gotten the damage elixir off, but just the ATB isn't lining up for me. Get it off now.
Even though potions are very, very fast, it's still possible to interrupt them.
One more turn should do the trick. It's not going to get anywhere. So I just defended there because I would have gotten interrupted anyway. This is another fight where I really want to make sure not to interrupt the boss here, because he has another really nasty counterattack as he will paralyze someone and do a bunch of damage to. It's actually possible to soft lock here. It hasn't happened to me, but I know some of the other runners have had a situation where if Robert interrupts him and Robert gets paralyzed, it soft locks because like it still thinks it's Robert's turn, but it's not Robert's turn, so it's waiting for you to input with Robert, and you can't flee, so you just are forced to quit out of the game and just retry the fight. So more of the story is don't interrupt the ogre, and you'll be fine. Someone remind me on the way back. I will be revisiting that area to pick up the confession in that place. I'm almost positive I forgot it. I guess people probably would like to see 100% instead of like 98%.
On the other hand, if you only get 98%, you get the 98% world record, most likely.
Oh.
But you'll be back in that area to do this particular side quest anyway, so...
Right, so it won't, as long as I remember, or maybe one of my friendly people on the couch will remind me. So this last side quest is all about finding these things that look like Nicholas, so just elementals that are at these shrines. You may have noticed them earlier in the run. Now they'll have little Nicolai. I'm not too sure what multiple Nicholases would be called.
Big Nicolases.
Just a confession there. Should try to do the best I can to remember to pick up all of them. For the most part, most of them aren't too far out of the way. They're just something you have to remember to get. So this is the last time we look into some water and see how our dad's doing. And he's not doing too hot. And neither is Austria, or at least their small plot of land in Austria. So your father is quite ill. There's a flood happening that is threatening the livelihood of your citizens. So trying to get home quickly.
Incidentally, this is a quest to come and open this treasure box that has a bunch of onyxes.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a kind of a secret that there's some hints earlier on in the game that tell you about this area. But I mean, if you already know where it is, it's not much of a secret.
Yeah, this is another one of the few side quests that you do in any percent run too, just because of how fast it is and how useful the onyxes are.
And the spinel
And
that we crafted from it.
I do like putting that on Aurora. You get this. Ooh, nice. I already have that.
The onyxes increase spell damage. The spinel, I believe, makes your turn start with a little bit of ATB already on the meter.
That's right for on the accessory slot.
You might say that these items are unexpectedly useful.
Oh boy, coming from you, Rojan. What are you doing to me? So we used to call this guy Leviathan because that's what the people before me called him, but once you get world record in something, you get to decide everything in the run. So I changed his name to Sahagin because he kind of looks like a Sahagin from the early Final Fantasies. So that's what I'm going with. Doesn't look like a big water snake that Leviathan usually does.
This is a little bit of an odd fight in that there's two helpers, but they're actually different monsters.
And you're also noticing that it's okay to interrupt this boss here completely.
And he wants to as much as possible, just because Sahuagin's attacks are a little nasty.
You almost called it the wrong name.
I did, but I got it.
Okay.
The
Maybe
other thing that's different here is it's a boss fight, but you only have 2 of those wishes. 2 of those plants that give
that's
wishes.
true, and it can actually can make sometimes the fight a little tricky because you start running out of. It's really important to make sure this guy doesn't take turns starting now once Awatus leaves, because he actually has some pretty nasty attacks. But I have saved something for this occasion. I'll use in a second here. He is very easy to interrupt. He's really slow. But I'll be using my other lull elixir is right here.
This is another advantage of going down the lightning tree for Finn.
Can I complain like about dropped inputs or something like that? I just used a magic potion on the wrong person. So no MP on Finn. I just have to defend to make his turn come up a little bit faster.
I think this is the last lightning bolt, because those lightning bolts really truck him.
Not as much as I would like, because I didn't dump as much magic onto Finn as I usually would in an any percent run, but still pretty quick, still a lot of damage. Everybody gets a level. Come here. All right, so I'm going to do this last puzzle right now, just so I can have the teleport point. So when I'll want to come back, I'll need to do some quests and remind myself to pick up a confession. I can just teleport right to the next area. And the theme for this puzzle is we're going to the Temple of the Sun, or Palace of the Sun, rather. And it's supposed to be about a solar eclipse. So if you look at the bottom of the statues, that's what it's alluding to. So now I need to remember where all of the elementals are. Let's hope I don't forget one. Starting with the monastery.
Are there, you're expecting there to be the one confession that you missed, and then one in that next zone? Are those the last 2 confessions you need?
I may have missed one after Nora. At least that's what I've been thinking about all run. It's been worrying me. So I could take a look, see how many confessions I have. If I got Nora's, then there should be 2. If I didn't, then there'd be 3. So let's take a quick look. Ooh. Uh-oh. We don't want 98%. So I just have to go to the shrines, talk to them, send the what did we call the plural of Iniculus?
Igniculoxin.
Just coming up with a new name. Anyway, we have to send them off to the big Iniculus. That's not actually what they're called, because Iniculus actually is the name of our little firefly friend here.
Send them to the Iniculus, or
Okay, so here I'm going to, actually make this 100%. I'm pretty sure it's the one at Nora that I forgot, which unfortunately will be a little bit of a trip, but we'll get through this. Oh man, I always forget about this. So I actually avoid this cutscene the first time through by just making sure to fly high above the cutscene. But if you fly a little bit too low, and you have to hear Rubella talk about her brother. Luckily, it's pretty short.
Incidentally, we also haven't gotten... Oh, is that the one you're missing then? The one next to Tristus?
No, at least... Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. You're right.
So
Which
you didn't miss the one
I
at
didn't
Nora.
miss the one, and it's very intended to get that one later. So let's see. Teleport here. There's one to the right here. There's going to be another cutscene I'm trying to avoid. See, this is why I just need to trust in myself. Like the whole run I've been doing. Did I get Nora's the confession after Nora? Oh, I should have flown over her. I just need to believe in myself a little bit more, and everything will be okay. So this is number 3. We'll do Temple of the Moon. I'll pick up that confession that Sil just mentioned. I'll get Tristus, which is required. I will get the elemental from this area. I've kind of all just been waiting to do that till the end here, just to try to be efficient.
We unfortunately don't really have any use for Tristus.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a replacement, kind of, for Nora, just not quite as good. He has a lot of, he's a support character, like his sister, has some haste, has an unstoppable, and also has like some armor buffs. But he gets replaced by just using elixirs, like defense elixir if you wanted to have, you know, defense up, or unstoppable potions, which I'll starting to be using a little bit. So just not terribly good.
$1 from Keishura says, Takaboop, don't forget the confession in the Water Village. Donation goes to Takaboop's choice.
Well, that one's pretty hard to forget, as it's kind of on the way. And I'm trying to see if I can count here, but I believe this should be it. Usually if I forget one, it's the one outside the Bulmus town, which is the place that the mice live. And I always have to come this way when turning in the quest, just because there's no fast way to teleport. So there should be this one here, and right there we go. And also, I'm going to remind myself to pick up the confession that's over here, because I don't believe I picked it up, right?
No, I think you did. Isn't the one in the last section, the last confession?
Let's see.
Oh, no, that's the last confession.
So there'll be one last one.
Oh, okay.
Right before the kind of final few fights. Now I'm worrying that I forgot one of the elemental shrines. Just need to trust in myself.
And your ability to count to 4.
5, I believe.
5.
That might be asking for a little bit much. Technically 6, I guess, but I usually don't count the first one because it's right outside the this zone. So, I mean, if I'm missing that one, then maybe I need to get some glasses. So, because I've already done Sahagan and I've already opened up the way, I can just teleport right past there to the Palace of the Sun. So there's just a lot of spikes we have to avoid here. Again, it only will deal damage to Aurora if I accidentally bonk into something. But just trying to avoid situations like that, and that. Try to squeeze in these areas before the spikes can get to me. It's okay. Sometimes you just gotta take it slow. Now, someone better than I could make a joke about Nox, which is her actual name. Nora is not a real name for her. Making some sort of noxious fumes, but I'm not going to go there.
And there's your action completed for getting all the confessions.
That is true. That would be a way of confirming that I have all the confessions. I did something.
He's going to be fine here, but if you run out of HP during this mini game, you do game over and have to go back to your last save.
That is right. I can just pop a potion if I really feel like, but the noxious fumes don't do a whole lot of damage. So as long as I don't bunk the walls or something like that, we'll be completely fine. I only need to turn crank twice, but I turned it 3 times there because I can count to 3. All right, so some more spikes up here. Let's try not to bonk into them. That was close. All right. Let's heal up Aurora.
Last menu.
last menu. Very important that you get this. It's going to give some holy damage, or light damage, as it's called. Very important for the final fight. There's going to be 2 fights in a row here. Very important that you have this. I'm trying to make sure that I forgot to get. Okay, now I'm confused. I didn't get Gen, which is a mistake on my part. I know what it is, and we'll see in a second here. So early in the run, I mentioned about teleporting away too early. You should notice once I teleport back to this place, I should get the quest completed. There you go. So that should mark the quest as complete. For that one, I still forgot to pick up Gen. I'm sorry, Gen. I said you were my favorite character, and I forgot about you. So that should be something. Keishura reminded me not to forget the shrine. Keishura, you did not remind me to not forget Gen, so I completely forgot to pick up Gen. Which you just have to pop in here to pick her up, just so she joins our party. So the story with Gen is that her parent, she's asking you to find her parents, and then we go kill the ogre. And before doing so, he confesses to, he's eaten all the Pisceans. So it's very much implied that her parents are dead. And even though we don't straight up tell her this, I think just by playing the song, she realizes that she's all alone. Her grandfather, who used to be around, has gone missing too. So she's really cool because she goes immediately from crying to, okay, let's do this. I'm angry. But sorry, again, you won't get to take any revenge because I don't actually use you. So action completed now. So that would be the confirmation of, okay, I did all the things. I got all the things. I did all the things. Good job. 100% completed. We have to finish the game now. Unfortunately, I have to do this area again. Is the door still? No, I have to reopen the door, don't I? No, it's already open. I've already done this. I should remember these things. There's actually a shortcut that I could open up there, but I don't because I don't expect to have to go through this place twice. Oh, that door's already open too. I don't have to see Nox again. I don't have to do the turning the cranks again. Don't have to do the spikes again. I should try to not bump into them now. Because they're...
Apparently you do have to do the spikes again.
I mean, they should be easy to avoid. They're already there. They're not coming out of the walls. So we have everything we need. Just confirmation of 100% done. Did all the things. Got all the things. Let's
do the thing.
Let's do the thing. Okay, so Nox, being another older sister we talked about earlier, she turns into a dragon too, because that's just what older sisters do. Robert.
And Nox, being a sea serpent dragon, is susceptible to lightning.
Yeah, so we will eventually be using Finn, but first we got to deal with these tentacles. And we'll just be using Robert and Awangus with that.
Again, the side enemies here are strong against magic, but vulnerable to physical. And
nice dodge. Not that it matters. And the main thing I'm looking for in this fight is I want Nox to do this. So now she's completely useless. So her gather strength move, it's really scary, but it takes a really long time to do. As you can see, just pay attention to the weight bar, take a look at Nox and how slow she's moving. So she's gathering strength. I'm slowing her with a Nicholas, and she's slowed just from the Hinderall that I used on Robert. So ideally, I can finish the turn before, or finish this fight before Nox gets to take any other action.
the action that she's trying to take is we'll instantly kill
Not quite.
It's not.
It's a
not
bunch of
guarantee.
damage. It's a bunch of damage. A Wingus can survive it. Finn and Aurora. Aurora probably can survive it with her extra HP that I gave her. But normally it's just a very scary attack.
Okay.
It's also almost impossible to interrupt it too. The other strength bar actually fills.
It definitely is. People didn't believe me for a really long time. Then it happened to somebody else, and I got to shove it in people's faces that, look, it is possible.
It's probably like 1 or 2 frames to interrupt it or something really
like
tiny
that.
like that. And it's not like something you can line up either.
You just have to set it up like 2 minutes in advance. Frame perfect trick that you have to set up 2 minutes in advance. Nah, easy peasy every time.
Or you could just kill the boss before.
Or you can just kill the boss. I made a mistake. I should have. Aurora should be on MP duty for Finn.
Oh, there's no more wishes, are there?
And there's no more wishes. I thought there was a wish left. But again, I used all 3 wishes, and I guess I can't count to 3 again.
He used up his 3 counting powers on that switch, so
I can only do it once per run. And usually it's on usually it's for Cordelia. Alright, there we go. Sorry, sis. Alright, one more thing to do, and then we'll be done. Oh, look at these people that I'm not used to seeing. Tristus, again. So your stepmother is not very happy with you as you've killed her daughters. So she gives you, tries to give you a bit of a choice. You've collected the sun, the moon, and stars now, but she has power over your father. So Aurora has to make the decision of the sun, the moon, and the stars and save the land of Lemuria, or her father. And she wants to do the right thing and save Lemuria, save the people of Lemuria. She loses the crown, and without the crown, she doesn't have her any protection. But she'll still make it through. This will be the second time she dies in the course of this game. So we have a little bit of a cutscene here as we watch Aurora get carried off to the altar.
There is actually a glitch he could do during this cutscene to get access to the menu before the final boss fight, but I believe it's just not necessary based on the setup he did before Nox.
Yeah, I could do something to make the Nox fight a little bit easier, but it involves quitting out of the game, and it's a little bit slower. But for newer runners that might be and who struggle a little bit in the Nox fight, it could definitely be something that you do to just try to get something more consistent. But again, we have a little bit of time. Fulujin.
Hi.
Hi.
How's it going?
It's, this is fine, as I said before.
This is completely fine. Everything seems fine. We did have a $25 donation from an anonymous donor, and that $25 went towards naming Setsuna in I Am Setsuna Gundam, which is a fantastic choice and is currently the leading name at $50 compared to both Jeff and Taiho having $1 each, so that's kind of hilarious.
So, question. If whatever Setsuna's names end up being, can we change the name of the game to I Am Gundam in this case?
Yes. Yes. This can happen.
So additional incentive for you guys out there. Change the game that Freddie and I are playing later on after Kingdom Hearts will be whatever game you choose. What will we play? Who knows?
If you can think of another game that is named I Am Blank and you donate for the right thing, we will have to play that game. That might be a lie, but it's fine. All right. We also had $2 from Ethel Merman saying Nacho Libre, and that went towards 2 names in Pokemon X, one of which is naming the Halucha Nacho Libre. The other was yet another Gumi for the trainer name, of course.
Yet another
Always need all those Gumis.
Was the name Yet Another Gumi or just Gumi?
No, it was Gumi, but it was Gumi with IE, which
Ooh.
maybe that's it's a twist on the standard Gumi format there. Again, just reminding you that this is RPG Limit Break 2017. We are supporting the National Alliance on Mental Illness, which you can support by donating at rpglimitbreak.com/donate during our marathon. Coming up after this, we have Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, and we do have some open bids, donation incentives for that is. So make sure to check those out and donate your money to NAMI. They're a fantastic charity who have been supporting us and many, many people suffering from mental illness for a very long time.
So we just did our final form, Aurora, where she gets a different dress. So this is actually her final form. Doesn't do anything other than give her a new dress. It's not like before where we got to expand our skill tree. And it doesn't particularly matter because we're just going straight to the final fight. So typically in the community, we have a little bit of a thing that we like to say for the last fight, and we just need to pray for no praise. So pray is an ability that some of the birds have, and they're birds, so they're jerks, so they have a move that I really dislike. Hopefully I don't see too many of them. It's AoE, which is frustrating enough. It's a knockback, and the birds in general are just really fast. So
And AoE is particularly significant because that means taunt will not stop it.
right. So here we are. Your stepmother is also a dragon, by the way.
Also, cute epic music.
Sadly, Umbra didn't have the funds to build a castle for us to explore before fighting her.
I mean, there was the one that we escaped from, I guess.
All right, pray for no prey. All right, that's 1 no prey. Is 2 no prey?
One very nice thing about Umbra, though, is that she often has the tendency to just kind of use her turn using status buffs on herself or the jerk birds that don't really impact the fight that much.
Yeah, one of the scariest things that can happen is a double prey into her actual attack, which is called Rumbling Roar. And in an any percent run, if that did happen, it could just end the fight if I'm a little uncareful. But now we have a Wangus, and he should be doing lots of damage now. Let's see some crits. Ooh, look at that.
1,300.
Umbra does have a interrupt counter too, but it's pretty harmless. It's just a damage buff to herself and her helpers. And once the birds are down, we really want to
Good job.
really want to keep Umbra interrupted as much as possible because she can actually revive the birds. So we want to minimize the number of chances that could happen.
The fight will be over soon, but it's not going to be quite time. We actually stop the timer a little bit after the run, so I will give you advanced warning on that.
It's when the screen fades to white.
There's the interrupt counter.
Let's see another crit. One for the road. I've learned in speedrunning you just have to ask for crits, right, Bowie? Okay, that doesn't work. How does Bowie do it?
I better ask Beck next.
All right. So, in about 10 seconds or so, it'll be time, but I'll be sure to call it out. And 3, 2, 1, time. All right. Well, that was Child of Light 100%. A little messy because I had to. I didn't trust myself and thought I didn't get a confession, and I did get a confession. I just believe in myself a little bit more. and then forgetting to get Gen, which I deserve that. I really like Gen. So ending out the story, I mentioned earlier the flood was putting the land that Aurora is from in danger. So she goes in through the mirror and rescues everybody and takes them to Lemuria, and that's going to be their new home. And as Puexel mentioned at the beginning of the run, I believe, this whole game has really been a fairy tale, and the ending definitely echoes that, as you'll see what the narrator says. But don't listen to the narrator, so you have to stick around for the next run.
From that day onward in Austria, only a small island remained. My people safe in Lemuria.
Real quick, before we wrap up for this, our first run of the night, we did have a donation for another Setsuna name. It's $60 from J Hobbs. And the comment simply reads, I am bread.
I was expecting I am Terra.
I could hear Spike laughing back there.
So it seems that at least some donors have figured out. Oh, we received a better donation. That's right, Hobbs. I said it. We received $400.
Oh, wow.
From one Yangus. When it says the name for Setsuna is The Law. So the game is I am the law. Thank you both very much for those donations. They're much appreciated.
Okay, well, this has been a run. I want to quick shout outs to people on the couch assisting me with the commentary. Thanks, Sil, for showing up, supporting me. And actually, Sil...
And not turning into a dragon.
Not turning into a dragon. And another shout-out to my brother, Sil, because he's actually... he deserves most of the credit for really getting me into speedrunning. He showed me the GDQs back in the day, got me to start watching RPG Limit Breaks in 2015. And eventually, I decided this is something that I really like. I'm going to start doing it. And this was actually my first run that I actually learned to completion and put a lot of work into it. And it's been really fun to be part of a speedrunning community and actually come out to RPG Limit Break. There's a lot of really cool people here. It's fun to just hang out with everybody. So thank you, Essentia, Puexel, and again, Sil. And another thank you to Voligen for putting up with getting this game to work properly on this computer. We were,
I don't know what you're talking about, and there's cutscene skips that you definitely did not do for cinematic reasons and not for any other reason.
Cinematic reasons. Okay, don't tell anybody. They won't know.
It has nothing to do with you play.
Nothing at all.
It should work fine, but I guess I didn't want to chance it. In any case, I guess that's it. Thanks everybody for watching. Make sure to stick around for the next run, Kingdom Hearts: Chain of Memories.
And thank you once again to Takaze for that round of Child of Light 100%. And we will be looking forward to that run of Kingdom Hearts: Chain of Memories by our friend Ghost Wheel in just a few minutes. But first, we are going to be heading to a quick ad break, and we will get set up for that run. So stick around, and we will see you shortly.
All right, so while these guys are getting set up on the tech, let me welcome you in here to the Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories run. My name's Bob the Ninja Goldfish. I am going to be your host for this run. Following up one of the most beautiful games I've seen this week, Child of Light, which was an awesome run. Just wanted to say thank you to everybody that's donated so far. So, just while we're looking at a few things prior to the run, let's check up on our donation incentives. Once the page. Here we go. So, fight Riku's final boss with low HP has been met. Versus mode battle is currently sitting at $28.58. Fantastic troll with a cent amount, by the way, out of 300. Walk with Pooh has been met. So for this run, we've still got the versus mode battle to work on. Just before you guys get into the swing of things, do you want to explain what the versus mode battle will be?
The versus mode battle is basically going to be.
No, I'm just letting them know for when you go live with your microphones.
Link cable battle system card.
No,
and I'm going to use the speedrun deck. So, guys, we're not live.
You're not live. I'm saying when you go live.
So, what is the link battle? I blame lack of sleep.
You just. Thanks, J-Hobbs. I'll keep going. We do know that Ghost's Runner's Choice is going to be donating for Terra. Because the Freddy on the mixer just recoiled in horror, as I think they could hear you through my microphone on that one, Hobbs.
Don't worry, Fred. We're doing a good job keeping you awake, right?
That's what I'm saying.
I have no idea either.
All right. But just remember, if you guys do donate during this game, if you donate $25 or more, you are going to be entered in for the grand prize of that Nintendo Switch with Breath of the Wild, donated by our own Brosentia.
Immediately getting shot down 30 seconds by $400.
Hey, I'm okay with it. Don't let I am still hoping you somehow get cloud cards and we can literally get a old strap.
Yo, Ghost Man, why you been doing that, dog?
We had such a fun practice run.
They're at least hearing music or something, right? They're not hearing us just being nerds.
I thought about putting you guys on.
You are missing out, folks. They're just over there being nerds.
Oh, you do it.
They hear you.
Can I see the Game Boy that you have? I just want to check to make sure that's the right game.
All I know is I've been in this situation before where we were just crapping around on the couch and they told us we were muted. And we were.
We have a game on screen.
Definitely muted. Definitely muted.
That's just for Freddie. I'm about to turn you.
Oh, okay.
The only person not muted right now.
No, we're chopping like an hour.
No.
I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real? Or not?